If you're thinking the Xiaomi 15T is a cheaper version of the 15T Pro with just a few small trade-offs, think again, because this phone cuts deeper corners than you'd expect, and at €649, it's dangerously close to phones that offer a lot more. Let's start with the headline. Xiaomi stripped away some of the best parts of its T-series flagship to hit that lower price. Gone is the impressive periscope zoom camera, gone is the premium metal frame, gone is wireless charging, and even the chipset under the hood has been dialed down to a mid-range processor. Yes, all of this makes the 15T about €150 cheaper than the Pro, but whether that trade-off is worth it is the real question. Now, to be fair, there are things the 15T does well. The display is one of the brightest you'll find on any phone right now. It even outshines the Pro model slightly, reaching an impressive 3,264 nits in tests. It's a large, sharp 6.83-inch panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate, and honestly, it looks stunning. You also get fast 67-watt wired charging and a main camera that holds its own in most conditions. So it's not like Xiaomi gutted the phone entirely. But the compromises add up fast. Let's talk cameras first, because that's where the downgrade hits hardest. The 15T still has a triple camera setup, a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 50-megapixel telephoto. But that telephoto is only 2x optical zoom. And that's the problem. Most phones today achieve 2x zoom just by cropping into the main sensor, so dedicating a whole lens to that feels unnecessary. Compare this to the Pro's periscope zoom, which offers real versatility, and the 15T setup feels like a big step backward. Photo quality overall is decent, the main sensor delivers good detail and dynamic range, and portraits from the 32-megapixel selfie camera look nice too, but the ultra-wide lags behind, with weaker shadows and less detail, and video quality isn't particularly strong either. In other words, this is not a camera system that's going to wow anyone at this price. Performance is another area where Xiaomi clearly cut costs. Instead of the powerful Dimensity 9400 Plus chip found in the Pro, the 15T uses a Dimensity 8400, a capable but mid-range processor. It handles everyday tasks just fine and runs cooler under load, but benchmarks show a noticeable drop compared to the Pro and other similarly priced phones. Gaming and heavy apps work, but they don't fly. And that matters because €649 isn't budget territory anymore. At that price, you expect flagship-level power. Even battery life, which should have benefited from the less demanding chipset, is disappointing. The 15T packs the same 5,500 mAh cell as the Pro, but its overall battery test score lands at just 7 hours and 11 minutes, ranking far below the Pro's 9 hours and 37 minutes. The browsing test is where it struggles most, losing a full 8 hours compared to its sibling. Charging is still quick at 67 watts, but the lack of wireless charging really stands out in 2025, especially when rivals like the Pixel 10a and Galaxy S25 included a standard. Design-wise, the phone looks almost identical to the Pro model. The display, shape, and colors are nearly the same, though the plastic frame is a clear downgrade from the Pro's more premium build. It does make the phone a bit lighter, and to Xiaomi's credit, it doesn't feel cheap in the hand. But again, at this price, many competitors offer full metal or glass frames, so this feels like another small compromise that chips away at the overall value. The software side is more positive. You get HyperOS 2.0 based on Android 15 with all the same AI features as the Pro model, including Gemini integration, AI writing tools, real-time translation, and AI-powered gallery editing. Xiaomi also promises 4 years of major updates and 6 years of security patches, solid support though still shy of what Samsung and Google offer on their mid-range phones. Audio performance is fine but unremarkable. The stereo speakers get loud enough but lose quality at high volumes, and the vibration motor is just okay. These aren't deal breakers, but they don't help the 15T stand out either. And that brings us to the big question. Should you buy the Xiaomi 15T? Honestly, it's a tough sell. It's not that the phone is bad, the screen is excellent, the main camera is solid, and the software experience is polished. But when you add up all the compromises, the mid-range chip, The missing periscope camera, no wireless charging, plastic build, weaker battery life, and then look at the 649 euros price tag, it stops making sense. Because for that money, you could buy a Pixel 10, an iPhone 17, or a Galaxy S25, phones that offer more power, better cameras, longer support, and fewer trade-offs. Even Xiaomi's own 15T Pro, though more expensive, delivers a far more balanced package that feels worth the extra cost. The Xiaomi 15T seems like a phone caught in the middle, too expensive to be a true mid-ranger, but too compromised to compete with flagships. And in a market where competition is fierce, good enough just isn't good enough anymore. So unless you find it on a significant discount, the Xiaomi 15T is probably one to skip. It's proof that cutting corners doesn't always pay off, especially when the competition isn't cutting any at all. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.